There we go. Well, this is a difficult topic, I think, if we're really honest about it. Being with hatred, being with hatred as it arises within ourselves, being with hatred when it's directed towards us, being with hatred on the collective scale, whether it's community or worldwide. It's a difficult. Oh, we're getting an alarm. Hold on. I don't think I need to. I think there's a little wake up. Okay. Our stay-at-home order has begun. However, I'm an essential service, so I'm not staying at home. So hatred is a very uncomfortable emotion as well. I think that's pretty fair to say for most of us. And we'd like to think that when we come to a certain point in our own personal growth that we don't experience hatred anymore. I'd like this devotional this morning to be a chance to tap into when you have experienced hatred, or if you have hatred within your heart now, so that we can be with this hatred. This topic was actually inspired by a video I was watching of Gangaji, a spiritual teacher I like, and she was speaking that she didn't know of anybody that at some point in their lives didn't experience hatred, that hatred seems to be part of the human condition. And if you were to study hatred, it seems to be very closely aligned to love, that it can be very easy. I know I've seen in married relationships for a couple to have this love, 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 and have it flip to a hate feeling, not probably a true hate intention. So there's something about hate that's a very strong, vehement stand of no. There's power and beauty in that no when it's recognized for what it's really saying no to. Most of the time, it has to do with self-preservation or self-dignity in some way. And you'll see in most of the Bible passages that hate is pitted as something bad, that you're walking in darkness if you have hate. And in other places, though, when you look at some of the Hebrew texts, the word hate is used as a laudable emotion in relation to evil. So here you've got an affirmation that hating evil is a good thing. But in other places in the scriptures, you have that hate is actually still being in darkness. And I think most compellingly, we have in the Gospel of Luke, let me pull that up. In the Gospel of Luke, where Jesus says this very challenging statement, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. And part of that movement is so that you will be in right relationship with what's going on. And the other part of that is so that you may be an instrument to light for the entire situation. So what's within your hands is being in right relationship to what's going on. And what you can be an instrument for, but you don't have control over, is a source of light in the relationships involved. How then can we do hate? How can we honor it as a valid part of our experience in such a way that it increases our freedom, that instead of contracting us or dividing us, that it actually becomes the portal or the gateway. And part of that is understanding some of what I just shared, understanding that the hate is actually a almost a guttural response of a no to what's perceived to be a threat to life or a threat to goodness. So underlying that then is the motive of desiring life and desiring goodness. So part of that is a perspective softening, that instead of identifying with our hate, that we let the hate get us in touch with what's probably at the heart, more anguish, more anguish in relation to the situation or in relation to ourselves. This morning's devotional, then, I'd like to let it be incredibly personal. And going forward from the devotional, I'd like you to take the personal outward and let it inform anywhere you may feel animosity, any of the leading emotional qualities that either have a bit of hate underlying them or could lead to an outward feeling of hate. And in that, then, you can soften so that you can get to the underbelly of what's going on. There lies true intimacy, doesn't it? So let's work with hate and ourselves this morning. And another perspective that is a solid stance that you need to cultivate and have. And if you've worked with me, you know this is a stance I support unconditionally, is that everything of who and what you are deserves unconditional acceptance. That's the very ground in which all transformation happens. So there can't be unconditional acceptance for ourselves this far. And then when we get to the edges of these emotions or perspectives or reactions, the defensive reactions, when we get there, then we stand in judgment of them. The unconditional acceptance is like this, is like Jesus on the cross, has arms open wide. And then from that place, what needs to be dissolved can be dissolved. So that's what we're going to do with hatred. Hatred always, always is dissolved with arms open wide, metaphorically. We're going to use a form of Buddhist Tonglen meditation for hate. So I invite you to close your eyes. And as we begin, draw up an instance or a way that you have experienced hatred. It could be a way you have hate now, or it could be a way that you have tasted hate towards you, or it could be a way you have had hate towards something in the past. It could be self-hatred. It could be hatred towards a situation that's disempowering. It could be hatred towards hierarchy, something, a much larger amorphous construct that's in our world. But get to a recollection where the hate, you feel it in the body. It's not just a mental knowing. And what I'd like you to do is recognize that the hate within you also exists in the world around us. And on the inhale, I invite you to let the inhale expand you to be a container for all hatred. But your hatred is the touchstone. And on the exhale, I invite you to breathe forward acceptance, expanding to embrace hate, exhaling acceptance. We're just accepting. We don't have to do anything about this other than accept, which is monumental in and of itself. Stay with it. Stay present. Stay present with the discomfort. Let yourself on the inhale be truly there. It's okay because while you exhale acceptance, you are tapping the larger field in which you are already accepted. You deserve this. And the only limit to this hate within dissolving is your own reticence to go there, or your concern that you yourself might not be holy in going there. But this is holiness. We begin to end this meditation. And in doing so, I invite you to let go of your focus upon the inward breath and hatred. And let the inhale and the exhale just simply be acceptance. Breathing in, allowing the acceptance of yourself in all your put together places and your messy places. And the exhale of this gift of yourself to the world. And if you will, see if you can maintain this breath through the day. Breathing acceptance of all. Be the field that neutralizes. With that, I invite you to open your eyes and have a fantastic day. Great to be with you, my friends.